Hey, it's Devon from Retirement Wellness Essay. Now, at this point in time, do you feel you're paying more or less for your life cover? And I'm kind of hoping that you're saying you're paying more than what you should be paying. In fact, I can almost assure you that you are paying more than you should, especially if you have not yet implemented the 3 techniques that I'm about to share with you. Now, if you don't have a life cover as yet and you want to apply these techniques, this is going to help you make sure that you're paying as low a premium as possible and getting the maximum amount of cover. There's a lot that I want to share with you, so let's get started straight away. The first aspect I want you to focus on, the first technique, is what I call term. So the term of the cover, how long the cover itself needs to be. Let's write that one in again. So the term, and this is how I want you to focus on it. Look in terms of what your need is for the life cover. Now, your need might be one of these aspects. So maybe you started up a life cover because you have a bond and you want to make sure at some point in time that you are not around. If you pass away before the bond is settled, that this bond is settled. That could be one option. Perhaps you have kids and you want to make sure at some point, if you happen to not be around and they're still young, you still want to make sure that they can sustain themselves, meaning they're able to get their schooling done, they're able to get their tertiary studies done. They've got enough finance for their lifestyle. They're able to live the same lifestyle as though you were still there. You could have a spouse who's dependent on you financially, and then you want to make sure that if you're not around, your spouse is still able to maintain that same quality of lifestyle. You could have any other forms of debt here, that you want to settle. You could even have your parents that are here. But whatever your reason is for taking up the life cover, what I want to share with you is that need for life cover is going to reduce over time. Now, I'm going to use the example of the bond, and then we're going to relate it to this. And the secret here is I'm going to show you how you can structure your life cover over a period of time, as opposed to making it to be running as long as you live. So let's quickly analyze the two carefully, right? I'll take your bond as an example. Your bond could be structured, let's assume, over a 20-year term. That's the bond. Now notice in terms of your balance owed to the bank, in the beginning at year 1, you'd agree it's at your highest, you owe the most amount of money. But over time, you'd agree, because you are paying a monthly installment toward your bond, what you owe to the bank is going to be a lot less, which means 20 years from now, you probably owe 0 or a very, very small balance, which means your need for life cover is reducing over time. The same happens in terms of your kids. So right now, your kids are the age that they are. What's going to happen in 20 years' time? They're definitely going to be a lot older. They're going to be a lot more mature, a lot more responsible. They're probably a lot more independent. At which point, their dependency on you has reduced. So your need for life cover then reduces, you see, compared to now, because they're much younger. Same with the spouse. Because your bond is almost settled or settled, the kids are a lot more independent, you've settled out debt, you see. The need for an income for your spouse to maintain the same quality of lifestyle, the need for life cover can then reduce. So whatever it is that your reason for starting up this life cover now, over a period of time, I want you to see your need is reducing. Now, how do we create a saving with the insurance company? The insurance company, in most cases, are not really pricing your policy according to a specific term. So what tends to happen is you have your starting point here, and then they're going to run this policy to what they call whole life. Whole life. And that means they don't know at what age you're going to pass away, but when it does happen, they want to make sure that they're making a payment. Now, on the plus side to that, it means that your payment is guaranteed. But the minus side to that is it means that you're ending up paying for something that you might not necessarily need. Let's go have a look at this. And it's also what's costing you more in terms of premium. So let's analyze this from a diagram. We're saying whole life, and let's assume whole life in my example, I'm going to use 110. So you are 40 years right now. they have priced this policy to 110. You'd agree it's an age that you're not likely to come to. So it means the term of this policy runs from 40 to 110, which means the total term of the policy, which I'll put at the bottom here, is now 70 years. Now I'm using an example to make this, the understanding of this concept easy for you. But because the policy is priced over a 70-year period, would you agree with me that you can't get as much cover as what you need right now because it's expensive? So you can't start there. They're going to start you with a low cover now, and it's increasing over time. So observe what has just taken place. The opposite to what is happening here. We're saying your need for life cover reduces over time, but the insurance policy starts you off with a low amount, and that increases over time. It's the opposite. Where you'd rather have more cover right now, so if something happens, you'd want to have the most right now because you're at the highest risk. It's the opposite way here. So how do we counter this? You could increase this cover, but if you increase it, your premium then is going to be extremely high because the term of the policy is so long. So your way to counter this is you could adjust the term on your policy, meaning you could tell the insurance company, I don't want my cover to run for that length of time. I'll use the example of the bond. You could tell them, look, I want my cover to run to age 60. And because the insurance company is pricing you for a shorter period, for just a 20-year period here, then the price for that particular pool of cover is going to be a lot less. And because it's a lot less, it allows you to start with the amount of cover you need right now. See? So that's the secret. Now, you could use this technique for any one of these benefits. Any one of these could apply. Do you still need some whole of life cover? Yes, yes, but you don't need to have everything to be whole of life because there's some expenses that come up when you pass away, like estate expenses, taxes. So we still want to have some cover there. But using this technique, you definitely are going to save money on your life cover premium for sure, even if you identify the components. The second technique I want to show you is what I'm going to say as pooling your benefits or pooling your cover. So let's call this pooling or cover pools. Now, the easiest way for me to explain this is to show you how insurance companies work when they're running the cover. The first technique, the first method that they have is what we call, the insurance term is what they call standalone, meaning you could have a life cover here, death, disability, illness. So each of them, notice, are in 3 different pools. They all are in 3 different pools. None of the pools are touching each other, so they're all working independently. Meaning if you have an illness, it's paying out. It does not affect your disability. It does not affect your death benefit. Now that is one way of structuring this. However, you could adjust this and you could structure it in a different way. Meaning you could take a lot more life cover because we know that is certain, you see. We know for sure everyone is going to pass away. So we know for sure you're going to pass away. What we don't know is along the way if you're going to have a disability and along the way if you're going to have an illness. We don't know that. So what you could do, I'm going to use examples here just to show the cover amounts. Let's assume your life cover here was 500,000. This was 500,000 and this was 500,000. What you may find for a similar premium, you could inflate your life cover, so make that pool to be a lot bigger. And let's just assume this pool is now 1.5 million. And inside here, you have your 500,000 and 500,000. So what takes place is this. The premium itself might be the same. Again, you could always reduce this based on your need to create the saving for you, because you can definitely save with this technique. And now you know for sure this is a certain 1.5 million payment. Whereas here, if you don't have a disability or an illness, the money you pay here, you're going to lose out. See, because if you just pass away, the insurance company is only going to pay 1.5 million. In this, 500,000. In this pool, because it's 1.5 million, you know for sure the insurance company is going to pay that. Along the way, if you have a disability or an illness, then yes, it's going to reduce this pool, but it still means for sure, ultimately, the insurance company pays out 1.5 million. Whether that happens a bit earlier because of a disability or an illness, it doesn't really matter, but this is what's going to protect you. Now, running it in this way, in this one pool, like how I'm showing you, it's going to create a saving for you, because this becomes a bit more expensive because the insurance company carries a bit more risk in this way by having the pools separated. So analyze this carefully if you already have a life cover to see how you can generate the kind of savings that I'm about to share with you, or that I've just shared with you. And then the next thing, I don't want to talk about things you already know. You know about age, you know about smoker status. What I do want to share with you is what the insurance companies call a rating. And this is an individual rating. So it's an individual rating. And very briefly, what the individual rating considers is they would look at your income. They would look at your education level. And the higher your income, the lower your premium. So just think about how they're thinking. If you are earning more, would you be able to afford a better quality lifestyle? Yes, you'd be able to afford things like medical aid, proper professional care. Maybe you can get to gym, so you can take better care of yourself, which means you lower risk to them, in which case they can reduce the premium. So income plays a role here. In terms of education, a similar thinking pattern. If you complete a diploma or a degree, the thinking pattern is you're going to be less risk because the chances of you getting into a profession increases, chances of you getting a higher income increases again, and your risk to the insurance company decreases. So these two techniques over time could change for you, which means when you had taken the policy out, if your income was a lot less than what it's now, maybe you had a promotion, and you go back to the insurance company for a reassessment, suddenly you can pay less for the same cover because your rating has improved. Same on education. If you have completed some kind of studies, that could now elevate your rating, which in turn could mean you could get the same cover at a lower price. And one more secret I want to share with you, so this is a bonus secret, is if you have a spouse and your spouse has improved on their education or income, the insurance company shares the rating between you and your spouse, meaning whoever has a higher rating will benefit, both of you will benefit from it. So let's just say your rating, I'm using an example. Let's say the rating works from 1 to 4. Let's assume your rating is 2 and your spouse's rating is 4. Because your spouse has a higher rating, your spouse is going to pay a lower premium. And that could, again, just be because the education is higher or the income is higher, one of those factors that makes it better for your spouse. Now, you could get the insurance company to link it to yours, meaning although you don't have the same rating, but they could share the same rating as your spouse. And then this is going to significantly reduce the premium on your life cover. Now, I hope you found these techniques helpful. I want to hear from you to share with me. Please post in the comments below. Tell me how much you are saving in your premium, how beneficial this has been for you. And remember to share this with your friends and family so they can also benefit from it. And also to like the video, so give me a thumbs up, and then I can give you more tips as we go along, and to subscribe to the channel as well. I look forward to hearing from you.